Hello, welcome to this tournament, SmallGames, MuensterCheese versus SuperNick. I'm here with Team OK.
Hello.
This is
Let's see.
a 4-game match.
Yeah, and here, I guess we see the first board here. What's the open looking like for you?
I'm looking at trashing and I'm not seeing any. So,
Well, there's goat. That's not a terrible trasher.
yeah, I guess you trashing one a turn, so
Yeah.
I always forget about the heirlooms.
Yeah, pretty easy to forget if you're there on your opening hand.
Yeah.
I think merchants early, just if only to hit peddlers, seems like a nice way to get up to grand market. And tactician does look like it's going to be relevant here.
Yeah, it's hard to... Tactician doesn't work with merchants, obviously. I think I might consider just opening double pixie. Get my goat along, get some good boons, and worst comes to worst, you can always, sheep one for the plus coins.
That is true.
They both have opened with wedding here for the golds and the debt.
First 5 here for you is festival, city.
Definitely festival. If I'm going for a 5, because I really want a bunch of pixies. I think pixie's a really good card, and I'd prioritize getting a lot of those.
That makes sense. Also, every festival is either an extra pixie to buy, or it's just another thing towards peddler.
Yeah. But with the wedding stuff, they seem to be playing more of a money-ish strategy. I can actually see a strategy here that doesn't play with merchants or golds really at all. Maybe you get a couple silvers early, but then you load up on pixies and festivals and try to build your way up to getting a whole bunch of grand markets and peddlers.
Yeah, and that also lets you use tactician, which seems like a nice thing here, as the draw is fairly weak until cities get powered up.
Yeah, and with pixies, you expect the cities to get powered up at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
The only problem with the grand market strategy is you have to thin 7 coppers, which is 7 goat plays. I mean, you don't have to thin them all, but you want to try to thin most of them. Mm-hmm. And you also want to thin your 3 estates, so that's just a lot of turns to get that deck in place.
That's true. That's a good point.
So I could see using a wedding strategically to add a little bit of payload on a turn you're not quite able to do what you need to. But early on, I think it's sacrificing some potential.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interestingly, only 3 pixies have been taken. You'd think there would be more at this point.
Yeah, I definitely want just a ton of pixies here. Even like the plus card boon or the plus, the discard to gain a gold boon is probably not great, but the silver boon is fine. The mountain's gift. There's just a lot of those boons which you're happy to take early.
Definitely, and if worst comes to worst, there's just another card towards peddler, which is not a bad use case at all.
Yeah, and something like Wind's Gift, which normally isn't great, is actually pretty decent here. It lets you cycle through to see your goat faster. And
definitely, especially with the weak trashing.
Yeah. So we see them getting up to grand markets, though, which is quite nice. Certainly you want to be, if you can get grand markets, you want to get grand markets.
For sure. SuperNick has already taken 2 provinces. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to build the double province in this kind of kingdom. So if you know you're not building the double province when you're hitting provinces, you might take one. I kind of, in this kind of kingdom, prefer to just get all the grand markets and then a whole bunch of pixies. And then if I need to take some provinces, I can, or I just end up piling out, estates or something with all the extra plus buys.
Yeah. Buy definitely is quite plentiful here. And also, just especially the pretty big lack of sifting and draw here. So I don't want to be putting green into my deck too early.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel about the golds, too. I'd much rather have a grand market, and that lets me draw a card, gives me a buy, I can get peddlers, and so on. Whereas the golds are just stop cards, and they do help you hit province, but, as we see here, Munster's able to have a real huge turn, hitting 19, up to 22. And I would say here they don't even need to worry about greening yet. They do need to green next turn. And they may have a
Also,
sad next turn, but
yeah, they do have 2 out of the 3 cities, so if they can draw around those, that's going to help their turn be better. That's
yeah.
not a great prospect for a turn, though. The only 2 peddlers in hand for draw. It's not even draw, I guess. Just non-treasures.
Yeah, unfortunately, SuperNick's going to double province here, so it is, having taken those other provinces, they're going to be decently far ahead here.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like taking that final peddler.
I think
I
with
like leaving the
a
peddler,
4-province lead, it's okay.
I guess.
But
Potentially.
it's tough. I think Munster does need to double province here and hope that SuperNick has a dud.
Or the classic resign.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well take double province and let your opponent prove that they can. They've got enough golds in their deck that maybe they can only single province or something.
I guess a triple duchy. I don't know. Doesn't seem too bad there. I was talking about the resign because I saw MuensterCheese type GG in chat. So
yeah, I'm sort of the opinion if SuperNick gets 2 more provinces, the game is out of reach. And I think that should have definitely been a duchy. But now there's like a decent chance Munster's going to have just a huge turn. We'll see if that's possible.
Munster needs like 34 economy or 33 economy to do to pile and win. 26 is not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice turn, but
I mean, you also have to be careful of a duchy pile out.
Yeah.
Munster.
The other thing is, as I mentioned, like we've got this nice deck with all the grand markets, but we're still not able to draw through it because we just don't have enough time to play the goat to trash all these coppers.
Yeah, definitely. I think here as Munster, I'm looking at taking maybe 1 province, 1 duchy, or 2 duchies maybe, and then cities.
Yeah, I mean you've got to count what you can get to. So they've both trashed all their estates. So 50% VP, in general is 40, but we also have the wedding points. So
technically it's unlimited, but in reality it's not.
Yeah. So if SuperNick had gotten 2 provinces, it would have been out of reach anyways, and province duchy is pretty much out of reach. Yes, that was the kind of a mixed strategy there with the golds. So I think the golds ended up helping SuperNick get to those price points early, and even though they couldn't build as big as Munster, they had started greening earlier. So Munster maybe needed to build a little less and go for green early.
Yeah, it seems pretty succinct.
All right. I will see you in game 2.
Yep.